before I started to learn, I was using it just like Google to find out stuff. What's the weather? That's a generic example, but that's all I was doing, was just treating this like a different Google browser. And now what I've learned is it's much different. And that's part of these courses that we're taking, of course. And when I learned ChatGTP a couple of years ago, or over the last couple of years, that's how I was approaching it. With Claude, I approached it much differently. I approached it like, I'm going to tell this person about me.
Okay. So let's go ahead and I want to pass over to Bill. Keep it right there, Burke. Okay. And pass over to Bill. And Bill, you're now helping Burke. You and Burke are doing this together. And we didn't prep this, so it'll be fun. Is Bill, help Burke take that initial prompt and make it better. So tell him what to type out to make it better.
For the weather you're talking about.
Yeah, for exactly this context, yes.
Tell me the trends of rainfall over the last 3 months in Portland, Oregon.
Okay, we're looking for it to work. You can see how it's checking all the data. That's great. Let's scroll up a little bit while it's working, and I want to just remind everybody of what it gave you on your first. Burke, what did it give you there?
45 and cloudy. Actually, it's nicer than that, but.
Well, you know,
is it down?
In your old office, we would have been able to see, but in your new office.
Yes. Now I look out instead of having the window behind me. It's in front of me.
So it's going to graph it out, I think, or something here. It's working on it.
Yep.
Which is cool.
Yeah. So it gives you December last year, January, and current February. It talks about the actual amount of precipitation or rainfall in this situation. You can see it kind of summarizes it below in terms of, December was exceptionally wet, for example, if you don't feel comfortable looking at a graph. But what I like about this is it also shows you the comparison. So if you look at, December being above normal, January being above normal, and February being above normal. I don't know why it's red and the January one is green, but I'll look at that later. But you can do this for the last 10 years too. I mean, you could continue to build that prompt out, and you could flip it and say how many, probably maybe a better one even for Portland is to say, tell me the percentage of sunshine that we have had over the last 36 months.
Perfect. Now Burke, let's stay on this same. I'm going to give you some direction to another prompt. Are we at the bottom here? Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. Is that first off, looking at, and I was looking at your background, Burke. I think I want to improve what is behind you because you block it out. But what is behind you is what on your background?
I know there's an Oregon coast.
Oregon coast. That's good enough. That's what I was digging for. So I want you to type. I regularly go to the Oregon coast. You can give the town if you'd like, because it is important to me to enjoy everything about the culture of the coast. Can you give me what I can expect weather-wise today and for the next 3 months? I would like it in graphical form. and fun to view because I want to share it with my partner. And fun.
Form and fun?
Yeah, in graphical form and fun to view. So I can share it with my partner. Tara, perfect.
Let her rip?
Let her rip.
Actually, good prompt, Brian. I'll be at the coast next weekend.
There you go. So it's going to tell you what the weather's going to be like. So you guys, based upon that, while it's thinking, can you tell me, did we progress similarly the way the course is talking about, using, and it was a great example because it's just the way most people start.
Yep. And one thing that I've learned, Brian, I can show you in my chats is when I started with ChatGPT, I would just type stuff in there over and over and over again. Now I'm being much more organized about my chats and creating separate chats and having a more organized approach to Claude.
Why?
So because then it makes it a lot easier for me to go back and find what I want to find. So it's much more organized into a system where if I want to build on something like my project, great. I know which one to go to build on versus digging through just endless stuff in one big chat.
So Bill, while it's thinking and we're watching, Burke just said a graduate moment, the plastics moment for us. What does he mean by what he was talking through?
Well, I mean, I'm going to interpret it as what I do for my filing, which is I keep everything by project. So I would say, let's just say I have a project on a book, I would, or on any other kind of writing exercise, I would put something in a folder, basically, that would then be able to allow Claude to go back and if, let's just say I put something in the Poseidon Project, my first book, and I go off and do a couple other things, and I get an idea, and I said, okay, how does this impact, how does this storyline I'm writing right now in the third book impact, this particular situation in chapter 12 or whatever. And so oddly enough, what's funny is that because my books are public domain, they're available to the public. So
I own some.
What I mean is that ChatGPT, Claude can access it because it's got an ISBN number. And so it can go in and basically say, blah, 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 blah. And this probably wouldn't be happening what you're writing in book 3 because you actually killed this character off in book 1. Or, something like that. Kind of an extreme example, but something like that, it would just save me time, first of all, to go back and check, did I, get that right? And secondarily, if after, a number of books or stories or, even building out this Gerhardt, Oregon thing, it remembers things. And so it builds on whatever new prompt you're putting in. Based upon what you've already asked. And I think what's different now about this one, Brian, that you dictated to Burke is that it's actually talking a little bit more about Burke and what he likes. And it's not just a Google, what I had said was more of a show me the data, but it has nothing to do with me. This is now, okay, we now know
What does it say, Burke? Did it relate it to you personally in any way?
Not a whole lot.
But it did tell you.
I haven't talked to it about Gerhardt or the coast yet. I've been talking to it more about work and
well, it did say
life.
Though, but it did say May is the gem for sunshine lovers, right?
Yeah.
And then your whole experience for comfortable temperatures, et cetera. But the point that I was really driving for there is the more that you stay in the conversation, and Bill, you got to it right there, is that I don't have to keep telling it about me, Burke,
Right.
in the Oregon coast. It knows, right? And then especially when I go back, and this is really important for work as we talk about the projects, right? Is going back in to where I can even have it search for my right project, correct? So Burke, why don't you share with us because you've tell us about your day yesterday. What did you do?
So yesterday I went through the course, the AI Fluency course. And about halfway through, you'll find that we watched some videos that are, for the listeners, they're digestible, they're not real long, so they keep you engaged. But about halfway through, it said, okay, now it's time for you to learn how to do a project, which I did not know how to do. I had
Show
not
us.
done before. So over here on the left side as you're navigating, my chats are here. So here's the one we just started. I was prepping for the test. The University Club is a club where I'm a member. So this was the project I did. At the University Club, we play a game called Pitch. For those of you in the Midwest, you might call it euchre, if you've heard of that, but it's basically a derivative of bridge, a simpler version. We play Pitch. There's a league at our club. I am the commissioner of the league. I've been the commissioner of the league, which means I organize it once a month for 21 years. So for the past 21 years, I've had an email spreadsheet that tracks all of the results through all of the years. So we play 9 months a year, once a month. At the end of the evening, and when we play, the winners get paid some of the money. Oh, it's only $20. But then at the end of the season winner gets some money as well. So the spreadsheet is tracking all of that. It's tracking.
I'm noticing a trend.
What's that?
Yeah. Bill, do you notice the trend about Burke? What seems to motivate him in his entertainment?
Cards and sports overall?
Pretty kind of close.
Yeah.
There's always something attached.
Yep.
And it's not alcohol, not Pinot.
Well,
money, risk, win.
Yeah. Yep. Win and lose.
Yeah, win.
And that's really in pitch. If you don't have some penalty for your playing poorly, it kind of messes up the game, frankly, because then you are making bids that are not smart because there's no penalty for doing so. But I started my project. So I've got this spreadsheet. This is where I really found Claude interesting, was I've got this spreadsheet that I've had for 21 years. I put it into Claude. So I'm again much more prepared to get into these things.
Sorry, would you mind backing up for 1 sec? Can you?
Mm-hmm.
You can go back, right? I think all you have to do is hit the back arrow. There you go. Okay, fine. But click in, you went to the next step.
This is the project I started. You want me to click on the project?
Yeah, I wanted to go back one screen, so we'll get there. Go ahead.
Well, we can go back here. Where do you want to go?
I need you to, I can't tell you because we didn't arrow back. Go click in like you were getting ready to show us. Okay, stop right there. Okay, because the audience, some of them may be watching this for the first time, not understanding how you uploaded your spreadsheet. How did you upload? Where do you do that?
You do that right here.
Perfect.
Add files. So
yeah,
what I did.
That's good.
So what I did, which is where I'm learning and where I'm getting a lot better than I was with ChatGPT, is I started my project. So I started up here before I put in the spreadsheet. I said, I'm a member of a social club. I've been a member for this long. We have this group. So I was kind of familiarizing it with the group. Then I started into more detail here.
So stop for a sec. Bill, mm-hmm. What did Burke do right?
Well, first of all, I think up until, are you include? I think the smartest thing you did was upload the document, because that is going to give ChatGPT, or Claude in this case, it's going to be able to give context to what you're trying to ask. And I think what you're ultimately going to be trying to do, if I understand it correctly, is that you would then generate an email that would go out to your team with the scores or the stats or whatever those are that you've been doing for 20 plus years manually. Is that?
Well, that's correct. And that's what I ended up doing. So as we
Hey,
go through this, you'll see.
One more thing, because
Yes.
I'd like to say what I really like about what you did. Scroll up to the top.
Huh?
I think that Bill is spot on, but I also like, and this is part of what I took out of this particular episode or lesson of our certification, is really talking about giving it context. That you've been a member for 27 years. It's a monthly group.
Yeah.
What the game is. You mentioned your friend Nate. Okay. Are we
Yep.
sure we have his name right?
Yes.
Is it in fact Nate?
Yes.
Don't you owe somebody a correction on a previous episode?
Oh, yes, I do. Michael Nuttbrock, not Scott. Michael,
Yeah.
thank you for watching. I
Thank
don't
you,
know.
Michael.
I had an old man senior moment, is what we'll call that.
Thank you,
So,
Michael.
I do owe an apology. But
we got Michael corrected here.
yeah,
So then
to your
you come
point though,
down.
Brian.
Yeah, go ahead.
So to the point, and where I'm learning this and I'm really starting to enjoy it, and I'll go down further, is you don't have to read all this, but basically it says, I prompted it, figure out what pitch is, and it did that. Then I said, okay, at the end, and here's the way we score it. Here's the money we put in. Then what do? I write a summary. So in addition to putting the spreadsheet into Claude, I copied and pasted 4 or 5 of my emails that I write up.
Show
So,
us.
I'm going to. So here we go. It's learning pitch. Then my league format. So I put my spreadsheet in. There it is. Here's the spreadsheet. I want you to do an analysis of all the results, both this year and through the years. We play again on this coming date. I'll give you some examples of summaries I've written. So now it took the spreadsheet and it came up with all this. And I'm going to go past the self-aggrandizement.
Bill, hang on a second. Bill, why is he showing us this example?
I was
Because he's on the top.
Yeah,
Winning.
it's not only the top. He's what? GOAT.
I was just looking
Greatest.
at George and Burke are running away with, so I didn't
Yeah.
look at all the stats, but 647 points.
Greatest
I was gonna
all
scroll
time.
through this, Brian. I'm not looking to self-promote here, but since you pointed it out, yes, I am the GOAT of the pitch league. But I really,
so
for the
Bill,
people,
I have a request on your next novel, please, as you're writing it. Can you please include a guy that plays pitch that's the GOAT and then gets whacked?
Yeah. yeah, which
I'll
have
add that
actually
sub
been whacked.
context in there. Yeah.
But the important part is not how I'm doing. I want to skip that. But here's where I started adding more context to Claude. So I said I write in a certain fashion, particularly to this group. I mentioned that I have a friend in this group that won a Pulitzer Prize, the guy I introduced you to, Bill Tom.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I said I feel just like with Bill, under a lot of pressure when I know who's reading these articles, because I'm not a professional writer. But I started putting in more and more of things I had written, results, and it started asking me questions. So it was just
I
really,
love that. I wanted to do more of that.
yeah. So now it's giving me feedback. This one's even better. So it's giving me positive feedback on my articles. And it's learning the way I write. You love a good narrative thread. You weave in members' real life events. The humor often has a fake, serious governance of a philosophical tone. And the more I kept putting in, the more it was learning. So here's another example. And I just cut and paste.
Learning about what?
About my writing style and learning about the group, learning about, because it down here, I mentioned in one email, Doc. It didn't know what Doc was. I said, oh, Doc is a doctor. It's Chris Thoming. All it knew was from the spreadsheet, Chris Thoming. It doesn't say Dr. Chris Thoming on there. Here's my friend who's a Pulitzer Prize winning author, Tom. And it's reading all these things all off the spreadsheet. So
Well,
I just
sorry,
kept
I have
putting-
something that popped into my head here as you're scrolling through. Go back up a second, talking about all the characters. Is I'm thinking of Piano Man.
Billy Joel.
Yeah. What's the song about? It's everybody that's in the bar. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's pulling all this. So the more I'm giving it, the more it's learning, the more it's interacting with me. So like here, that's a fascinating angle. Essentially, so I said, we get to the end and I said, so what happened in March? And it's now said, I'm ready to write the article with you in April. And it said, is there anything we should continue or resolve? Nothing I can think of. We'll work on this more after I have the April results. One thing would be interesting to analyze when individual teams score the best and worst. Fascinating. So now it's giving me suggestions on things to do. It was just, again, I was happy to have Saturday to do this because didn't have distractions from work, and I was able to just give this more and more data, and I had a lot of fun. And that's why I encourage people to take this course and try this.
You beat me to my question. Was it arduous or enjoyable? Was it difficult or enjoyable?
It was very easy and it was a lot of fun because I've had this in my mind for a long time that, someday I'll retire and I'll sit and I'll grind through all this giant spreadsheet. Well, I don't need to wait anymore. I gave this guy, Claude, the spreadsheet, and I had fun with him working through all of this. And you can just see, the more I gave him, the more he had. And
nice.
Now, Burke, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
You do this weekly. What would you need to do on, let's just say it's April 20th to send out your email? Would you just say, Claude, here's the updated data, send, a email in this style that basically tells this kind of information? Is that what you would do?
I will go into the prompt. It'll be in the first week in April. And I will say, okay, we had pitch night last night. Here are the scores. So generally what I've done in the past is I will add up all the scores from a piece of paper to double check the math, and then I'll just put the final scores in the spreadsheet. Now what I'm going to do is game by game, and I'm going to ask Claude, how is the best way for me to enter this? And then I'm going to ask him if he'll have to update the spreadsheet for me. So I might not even have to do the entry anymore. But then I'll say, okay, I'm based on these results and based on where people stand, because essentially what I'm writing up is some humor. Here's what happened last night or this week in the pitch group. So here's our current results. Here's the overall season results. So I'll talk to him about, that's what I want this to summarize. He already knows because I've uploaded like 7 of my prior emails. Okay. So you can see, wonderful. It's just fascinating to me. I'm using this. I told him I'm using this as part of my training. Wonderful.
Good.
I can do all this other stuff. The more context you give, the better the output. You did this really well, sharing multiple email examples, explaining inside jokes, naming characters. That's exactly right. So the cool thing about it was very positive. Keep up what you're doing, Burke. Keep learning. And you can see up here where I was talking about my friend Doc. So it's learning. Running nickname character list. I'm now tracking. Nate was in Australia, so I called him Crocodile Nate. Captain Technology. Lex, my friend Lex, not so good with technology.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's just if you're wanting to learn this, find something like this that you're passionate about, you, our listeners, and then just go have fun with it. Because to me, I had a great afternoon yesterday.
Actually, one of the exercises it tells us is to use the passion that you're passionate about first. And then it goes into, okay, now do it with something you're unfamiliar with.